Hello and welcome to the final marriage sessions catch-up. This time we're joined by Philip and Sonia. Guys, thanks for being with us.
Good to see you.
Does it feel like, can you remember much from your interviews on the marriage sessions course?
We didn't actually,
But we did have a sneak watch back a couple of days ago, and we were amazed, A, that how young we were, and B, that you found actually something legible that was worthy of being published. I'm very grateful to be involved in it.
You both still look really young, I assure you.
Thank you so much, Stephen. We appreciate that.
So you guys were involved in the session about commitment, and currently we're living in pretty uncertain times, it's fair to say. And how has that kind of affected that element in your relationship?
Yeah, I think it's probably now, after so many weeks, this has actually become quite normal, hasn't it? And for us, we've got into a routine. But most definitely at the beginning, it was very difficult for us because just as we went into lockdown, my dad tested positive for COVID-19 and ended up in hospital with the in intensive care and then high dependency unit. So that started off this whole journey for us, certainly very stressful and had a huge impact on our whole family, and I suppose in a way an impact on both of us as well.
So what we had to do is then, as the world was adjusting to whatever this new uncertainty was going to be, we then were delayed because our focus was absolutely 100% on making sure that Sonia's mum, who's 80 and her dad is 81, making sure that and in their own ways they were both protected. So we immediately shut down here in our home and had Sonia's mum come here. And then Sonia's dad came through mercifully, and we're very grateful for that to all the medics. And as people of faith, we're grateful to God for that as well. And he came through ICU, came through high dependency. And then he landed here in full PPE one day, and we then had our new regime of having him self-isolating within our self-isolation. So it brought a whole new layer, but we did work as a team. We are a team. We've very much been a team since the beginning of our relationship. And so it was a new experience, but it was one in which I think we adapted to as quickly as we possibly could and made sure that the priority and focus was on Sonia's mum and dad.
That must have been so difficult. Your whole world must have been rocked in that moment. But so wonderful that you were able to rely on each other, as a team, like you both said. So can you tell us a bit about how you both stay so committed to one another? Like, how long have you been married? Can you remind us?
Well, I think it's important. Sorry, I know Sonia was going to speak there, but the danger is that Sonia usually gets this answer wrong. So perhaps I should answer as we got married in 2004, which makes this our 16th year. Sonia instinctively sometimes answers 2006. I know not why. Perhaps it was a delayed reaction. But we got married in 2004. So we're in our 16th year.
Amazing. So what, for all the couples that aren't in their 16th year yet, what would you say has, kept you going all this time?
I think for us, we value our time together. We love spending time together. And we both, through our work, particularly Philip works in travel, so he would be away a lot. And increasingly so, I've been away with work. So our time together would be robbed at times. So for us, we now intentionally put time in the diary and actually physically write it in the diary so that we have time together. As we feel we do better when we spend that time. And if there is any difficulties, that's when our time has been stretched and we don't have that time together.
One of our favourite tools is Sonia's pre-Jurassic Filofax. And into that Filofax goes our whole life, all of our kids' lives and our grandkids, in terms of what's happening, where and when. And much as I may slightly tease her about it, it is an amazing resource because it keeps everybody in the right channel or in the right lane, and we're always aware of what's happening. But it's not a rigid thing. It's just something that we like. I would like more structure, tend to like more structure than would. So that's been an adaptation for both of us. And I think, we have, by and large, got into a rhythm of that. But it's a matter of that intent, as Sonia says. If you set it out as the intention to do it and then do your best to not let it be compromised, then I think that usually helps the whole relationship.
Have you managed to maintain the kind of diarising stuff and time together since you've been in this?
Oh, Stephen has taken on a whole new dimension, because in one of the cupboards behind me is 2 A4 sheets, one for this week, which is the rota, and then one for the week ahead, which is there to be filled in. That's in addition, of course, to the master file of facts.
I feel I need to add in here first. Philip said to us, to me one day, we need to talk, in a really serious voice. I said, what's wrong? And he said, I need more structure. So that's why I did a rota.
That's right.
We're both furloughed. There's just the two of us here. Once Sonia's mum and dad, which was a good thing, were able to go back to their home again. So all we're doing is making sure they're well looked after. We have grown-up kids who look after us extremely well as well. So we just needed to put some planning and structure into each day once we got her mum and dad well.
Yeah.
Amazing. And in any marriage, there's things that come along that can put strain or just make things difficult within the relationship. So what does protecting the marriage look like for you guys?
I think throughout our marriage, we probably have come across the really, really good times when everything seems to be going perfectly. And then we have had those times that have been difficult. Philip was diagnosed with cancer about 7 years ago. And so that was a huge thing for us both to face together. The loss of jobs for Philip over the years has been difficult. But for us, we have naturally, we probably have made a subconscious decision. I can't remember making those decisions, but we face everything together, whether it was the cancer, whether it's the loss of jobs. And we've just kept talking and like to talk. And so we talk about everything, every detail, whether it's those times that are difficult and those times that are full of joy. We just keep that dialogue. So keeping committed, keeping the conversation open and honesty.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah. I think to channel my inner Kipling, if you can meet is a triumph and disaster in the same way, as it were. And we have attempted to do that as much as we possibly can. And again, we are Christians and our faith does play a part in that. And we make sure that we give that due prominence as well.
And what would you potentially say to the couples who might struggle in the talking department? Because you're both talkers, but maybe there's like a practical tip that you would give them to just ease the conversation. Have you found that along the years?
I think that honesty costs at times. And so that means whether it's saying I've broken yet another glass or something slightly more serious, if there could be something more serious. It's just being honest with one another, keep talking and keep listening. Because we are good talkers and we like to think we're both right, so that has its cost at times. It's trying to listen as well, and to listen, remembering to listen, and being kind to one another.
Yeah.
And I think if the basis for the relationship of being in love and loving was also and is also a friendship, and there's that deep friendship within it, and there's that soulmate aspect which we cherish, then I think you've got to not be afraid to go right back to that and peel it back and remember as a couple that those things that did attract can and hopefully still do attract, and then build it back up. But often you do have to strip it right back and find just one scintilla of agreement, or one area where you can start to talk and embellish and grow, and then you take that into hopefully a better, more fulfilling conversation.
Yeah, that's
great. Well, thank you both so much for joining us and taking some time out of your day. I hope it was in the diary well in advance.
Absolutely, it absolutely was.
I'm quite sure. I'm sure people watching this would have just found that so helpful, and just really adds a bit of weight to what we heard earlier as well in the last session. So thanks everyone for watching and for joining us, and we'll see you soon. Thanks everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Okay, bye.
And so part of marriage at its best, is that you share in each other's fulfillment, including the fulfillment of their dreams.
So it's worthwhile taking a moment to think of some of those red flags that can help us protect our marriage, our family.
For me, commitment's not an easy thing. It's an important thing, but it is only a word until it's tested.